All right, so hi everyone. I just want to thank everyone for coming and for dialing in, both participants and presenters. Really excited to have you all here, and this is a really cool feature that we can actually see you, so I'm excited that you all had the chance to dial in. So tonight's call and tonight's topic is the college experience presented by Mass Youth Leadership Foundation alumni. We have some really great speakers who are all alumni of the program. I myself, my name is Samantha Curtis. I'm a 2006 Mass Youth Leadership Foundation alum, and I'm just going to be leading the call and making sure the call goes along smoothly. So the speakers are going to be talking about their own individual experiences throughout the call, but if you have any questions throughout the call, you can feel free to type them into the chat feature on the left. And then at the end, we'll also be doing a Q&A, so you can ask questions then also. Without further ado, I just want to welcome everyone and ask all of the presenters to introduce themselves. So, Rudy, let's start with you.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Rudy Jane. I'm a 2009 alum, and I represented Trinity Catholic High School from Massachusetts. And I'm currently a first year at the University of California, Berkeley, and I'm considering pre-business right now, with also a possible double major in nutritional science.
Great.
Hey everyone, I'm Nick Valentini. I'm a 2007 Mass Youth Leadership alum. I went to Georgetown High School in North Shore area of Massachusetts, and I'm now a junior at Dartmouth College. I'm double majoring in government and biology, modified with environmental studies, with a minor in rhetoric. Sorry, that took a long time to say.
All right, Christian, how about you?
My name is Christian Bedoya. I'm an 08 Mass Youth Leadership alum. I represented Lowell Catholic High School back in the day. Currently, I spent my first year at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. Currently, I'm a sophomore, and I have transferred to Northwestern University out in Chicago, Illinois. And I'll be pursuing computer engineering, hopefully.
My name is Meg McLaughlin. I'm a 2010 Mass Youth Leadership alum. I'm currently a senior at Sanborn Regional High School. I'm going to be the class of 2016 at St. Joseph's College.
Thanks, Meg. And like I said, my name's Sam Curtis. I'm a 2006 alum. I'm currently a senior at Boston College in the Lynch School of Education. So my major is human development, which is like educational psychology. And I went to Boston Latin School. I'm from Boston originally. All right, so I want to start off with talking about the college search and how you each kind of started out maybe visiting schools, doing research on schools, doing some campus tours with maybe talking to students who are currently there, and how you figured out that that was the school for you. Nick, would you mind starting us off with that?
Okay, sure. So my college search was a bit longer ago than all of yours, but I applied to 10 schools, which was actually a lot back then. Good mix of safety schools, mid-range schools, couple reach schools. And what I was really looking for was basically something in this geographic area. I wanted to stay close to home. And other important components for me were community fields at the campus. I didn't really want to have something that was too spread out. I originally thought I wanted to be in the city. That changed drastically. And another big factor was obviously the strength of the academic programs. And I was really, keen on researching the majors and, the requirements for each major at the different colleges I was going to. And I guess ultimately it came down to Tufts and Dartmouth, and I deposited to Tufts. I was going to Tufts. I went to their accepted students day. I had a roommate, and then I came up to Dartmouth to actually help a friend of mine, do her college visits, and I just liked it so much that I decided to switch to Dartmouth. So I ended up coming here. Definitely don't regret it. Great community feel. Have loved my college experience so far, and I think we're gonna talk about that later. But yeah, that's pretty much what I used as my criteria.
Meg, did you have anything to add to that about how maybe you visited schools and got a feel for how that was the right school for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was about the summer of my junior year. I started looking into schools, and I definitely visited a lot of schools just to get a feel for what I wanted. I went to like King, St. Joseph, Champlain, UVM, UNE, UNH. So I tried to figure out where I wanted to be as far as location, like how far away from home I wanted to be. And I decided like an hour and a half roughly, so I would have time to get home if I needed to, but also I'd be far enough away where I could have that sense of independence. And then I started looking for a location as far as that, and then once I figured out that, I kind of looked
Definitely. You hit on some good
schools
points there, yep.
and what they
Keep going, sorry.
And then too, to see what the campuses were like, and I talked to students on campus, and I definitely looked into the schools that I wanted first. And I ended up applying to only one school, but before doing that, I definitely did consider other schools. It was just a matter of what I wanted personally, and I went with a school that had a smaller population size. And
those are all really important things to think about when doing the college search. So just to summarize some things you hit on. So what size is the school? Do you want a big school, a small school, a private, public school? Do you want to go to a religious school? Do you want a campus that's close to your house, or maybe that you have to get on a plane to go to? Do you want a campus that's similar to where you grew up, or something that's really different? And then another important thing that you hit on is doing research about like what type of programs you make. I know you're going to a nursing school. I'm in an education school, so for me it was important to know that the school I was going to had like a school of arts and sciences and education school that I could transfer into once I got there. And that's something that you might not think about right now, like what type of academic programs do schools have, but if you know that you actually don't know what you want to do, it's good to know that the school you're going to has a lot of options once you get there for academic programs that might fit your interests. Does anyone have anything else? Yep.
Also, it's good to look into schools, like you had said, I knew I wanted to go into nursing, so once I figured out what school was relatively close or far to me that I was considering, I definitely looked into the nursing program as I was finding my school, because I knew that's something that I wanted to major in. And I was looking for schools that were strong in that area and that also might have had more to offer.
Definitely, those are important things.
For example, like how
so when you're doing tours too, it seems like it would be really helpful to maybe to write down a list of, like you said, when can I start internships at this school? Kind of write down all of these things as you're doing the tours and as you're talking to students. That way you can remember and can compare these lists. So something that I think would be helpful is to write down a list of 5 impressions of a school when you go there. So the personality of the campus, the mission of the campus, what the students look like, what the classrooms look like, and that will kind of help you look back and say, is this a school that I could really see myself at?
It's really good when you're researching, when you're touring schools, it's really good to take a camera with you because once at the end when you're making your decision, if you can lay down like a visual to see like, oh, this is how this campus looked like, or I remember this part, then it all comes together and then you can really see if you want to be better at one school than in the other school. That's what I did. That really helped me.
That's a really great addition to making a list also, so you have a visual component to it too. That's a great idea.
Also, when you visit schools, you really want to utilize all the resources that you have as you're getting to know the school. So one of the things that I did was I got to know the students as I was going through as well. So ask them, like, what do you do around here on the weekends? Like, where can you go to get a bite to eat? Just things like that.
Right,
that
definitely.
Really get used to the environment and how.
Right. Anything else to add to this college research?
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in on one thing. So there's college tours, like admissions office tours, and then there's like an actual college tour. Two very, very different things. So by all means, go on the admissions tour, listen to what they have to say, ignore most of it, and then go on a real college tour. And by that I mean like walk around yourself, talk to real students, get like an honest perspective. I've actually like been on the Dartmouth tour a couple times as a student, and I didn't believe like 90% of what they were saying. So keep in mind that it's just like one person's opinion of that school.
Right.
So like you could have a really bad tour, you could have an admissions officer or a tour guide who like doesn't really line up with your views, but yet that school could still be like a great fit for you. So definitely do your own thing, talk to students. I mean, I've never really met anyone who like wasn't willing to talk to a prospy, a prospective student as we call them up here. So definitely just like use like the actual students on campus.
That's a really great point, and that's actually something I've actually given tours of BC to so many Mass Youth Leadership Foundation alumni who while I'm at the conference, they hear me say that I go to BC, and then they come up to me and say, "Oh, can I come visit?" And I know I love BC, so I'm always willing to give people tours, and I'm happy to give people tours. So I think that's kind of a unique aspect of being in this huge network. With students from all over Massachusetts, it's that you can just say, hey, like I heard that you go to Dartmouth, do you mind if I come and visit, and maybe you could show me around. And I think being part of the Mass Youth Leadership Network, people are more than willing to do that. So that's something I highly, highly encourage delegates and alumni to take advantage of.
Yeah, to add on to that, I know one of the things that really helped me make my final decision was a lot of schools offer like a shadow program where if you take like a day or two, you can actually shadow a student, go to their classes, sit next to them, go to their dorms, eat with them, and then you can actually see what a day in the life of a student at this college is. I highly recommend, taking that opportunity. Pick like a weekend or like a Friday, and then you can stay during the weekend. It's really helpful to see like a really a truer perspective of what it'll be like in college.
That's a great point.
Also, this is really awesome. You always want to consider the financial, like how much that school costs and if it's within range.
Definitely.
That's something really important.
So you can look into some schools, like do they offer, need blind admission, and what type of scholarships are available, and so that's a great point to bring up too.